could have been a powerful ally.
For you, perhaps.
You question my loyalty?
Always.
Star Wars fans could be forgiven for being less than enthusiastic about the animated anthology series Tales of the Jedi. The Tales of the Jedi comics are set thousands of years before the movies, a time when the galaxy is a much wilder place and where the Jedi and Sith waged open war against one another. The animated series, on the other hand, is set during the era of the prequel trilogy and focuses mostly on familiar faces from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. After all this time, Disney is still seemingly reluctant to venture outside the confines of the Star Wars movies. But if Tales of the Jedi lacks the ambition and scope of the original comics, it does bring something vital to the table. The first season does something even the Clone Wars never quite managed by lending new depth and insight into Count Dooku.
Set us down well clear of the village. Tensions are high enough.
Yes, Master.
It finally makes good on Episode 3's promise that the Clone Wars was full of heroic characters on both sides of the conflict. That alone is enough to make this series a must-watch for prequel fans. Let's explore how the series is able to add so much to this enigmatic Star Wars villain.
Stand down. I will not.
Christopher Lee's Count Dooku is probably the second most important villain of the prequel movies, despite the fact that he only has a fairly limited amount of screen time in episodes 2 and 3.
No, Anakin, no! No!
Attack of the Clones introduces him as a clandestine ringleader of the Separatist movement, a former Jedi Master who abandoned the Order and has spent the past decade quietly assisting Darth Sidious in orchestrating a galactic civil war.
Everything is going as planned.
In Revenge of the Sith, Dooku doesn't even make it out of the film's first act before meeting his end at Anakin Skywalker's cybernetic hand.
Do it.
There's a lot those movies don't tell us about Dooku. What compelled him to leave the Jedi? When exactly was he recruited by Palpatine? Does he truly believe in the Separatist cause, or is he, like his master, only interested in acquiring power and influence?
I will take the designs with me to Coruscant. They will be much safer there than my master.
The Clone Wars spent 7 seasons fleshing out the period in between episodes 2 and 3 and exploring how characters like Ahsoka Tano, Captain Rex, and Asajj Ventress fit into this devastating conflict. The series promised to build on an idea only hinted at in Episode 3's opening crawl, the notion that there are heroes on both sides. Whether it truly succeeded in that goal is open for debate, but it's hard to deny that the Clone Wars failed to truly take advantage of Dooku as one of its lead villains.
Lord Tyrannus, my master.
The character appears in many episodes, often facing off against Anakin and Obi-Wan, and sometimes even plotting against his master with minions like Ventress and Savage Opress.
Leaving so soon, Master?
Yet, by the time the series catches up to the events of Episode 3 and takes its final bow in Season 7, there's a lot we don't know about Dooku and his past. Expanded universe stories like the Darth Plagueis novel filled in some crucial gaps for a while, but those stories aren't part of the official Star Wars canon any longer. Dooku is as much an enigma now as he was back in 2002, or at least he was until Tales of the Jedi came along.
I'm afraid our investigation is not yet complete, Senator.
Dooku is essentially one of the 2 main protagonists of this first batch of Tales of the Jedi episodes, all of which are set before the character's live-action debut in Attack of the Clones. These 3 shorts, despite only clocking in at about the length of a single Clone Wars episode in total, reveal far more than that series ever did about what motivated Dooku's decision to leave the Jedi Order. If there's one takeaway from these 3 shorts, it's that Dooku was a man of firm principles back in his Jedi Knight days. He, more than anyone else in the Order, is fed up with the corruption of the Galactic Senate.
Corruption like yours must be eradicated.
Dooku despises the fact that the Jedi have become upholders of the status quo more than the benevolent peacekeepers they were meant to be.
Your devotion to rules is sometimes inspiring and sometimes maddening.
Dooku's idealism puts him at odds with his fellow Jedi, even costing him a spot on the Jedi Council. And it's no stretch to imagine some of that headstrong attitude rubbed off on his Padawan, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Master!
That finally comes to a head in the 3rd Dooku episode, which takes place concurrently with the ending of The Phantom Menace.
There's no doubt the mysterious warrior was a Sith.
Always 2 there are. A master and an apprentice.
But which was destroyed? The master or the apprentice?
Even as Masters Yoda and Windu attend Qui-Gon's funeral on Naboo, Dooku is forced to choose between his loyalty to the Order and his alliance with Darth Sidious. In the end, Dooku chooses the dark side. By the time Dooku strikes down Yaddle, his old self is gone and Darth Tyrannus is born. That episode even resolves a loose end from Attack of the Clones, as we learn it was Dooku himself who deleted Kamino's existence from the Jedi archives shortly before his defection.
Delete.
These 3 episodes may only show us specific moments in Dooku's long career, but they reveal a great deal about his motivations and his outsider role in the Jedi Order.
Jedi claim peace, but mostly keep law and order for the rich and powerful.
There was indeed a point where he genuinely believed in the Separatist cause. However cruel and ruthless Dooku may be during the Clone Wars, he had his reasons for defecting from the Jedi and becoming a Sith Lord.
Rise, my friend. Master.
That makes his abrupt death in Revenge of the Sith all the more tragic. Dooku threw away his life to serve a man who happily discarded him like a broken tool at the first opportunity. He started down this road with noble intentions, and by the end, that choice cost him everything. Tales of the Jedi doesn't just give Count Dooku the backstory he's been missing for 20 years, it also reveals just how much this character's rise and fall mirrors that of his replacement, Anakin Skywalker.
I will do whatever you ask.
Emperor Palpatine definitely has a type when it comes to recruiting powerful yet disposable minions.
Good.
Anakin and Dooku are both men who spend most of their careers butting heads with the Council and chafing against the rules and restrictions governing the Jedi Order.
How can you be on the Council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Dooku is enraged by the Republic's corruption and inaction, and Anakin, a former child slave, knows only too well that the galaxy is rife with injustice.
I'm a person, and my name is Anakin.
Both men regularly bend the rules in pursuit of what they see as the greater good, and both feel the pull of the dark side and the allure of unlimited power to right wrongs.
The Sith rely on their passion for their strength. They think inwards, only about themselves.
And the Jedi don't.
Dooku's final turn to the dark side acts as a clear parallel to Anakin's terrible choice in Revenge of the Sith. Just as he'll later do with Anakin, Palpatine goads Dooku into killing Yaddle and proving his commitment to their shared cause.
Let me give you peace, Master Yaddle.
Just like Anakin, Dooku is racked with doubt and indecision, but he ultimately decides the only way forward is to embrace the power Palpatine offers. We doubt Anakin ever understood how much he shared in common with his nemesis. For him, Count Dooku was just an enemy to be conquered and an old score to be settled.
My powers have doubled since the last time we met, Count.
Good. Twice the pride, double the fall.
But Dooku must have seen something of himself in the promising Jedi Knight being pulled into the dark side.
You have hate. You have anger. But you don't use them.
Maybe Dooku even harbored secret thoughts of turning Anakin himself and overthrowing Palpatine together. We can only hope that a future season of Tales of the Jedi will delve deeper into that connection. This series has truly revitalized Count Dooku as a Star Wars villain, but there's no reason his story needs to end here.
What choice have I?
Are you happy with how Tales of the Jedi has fleshed out this iconic Star Wars villain? What other Jedi would you like to see in the spotlight of Season 2? Let us know what you think in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.